League is a super complex game with a ton of rules. Some of them are basic and obvious, like don't just throw yourself in the enemy fountain at level 1, but others are really never talked about by anyone, yet somehow everyone knows about them and expects them to be followed. So let's not drag it out, let's go. There are some messages that every player sends at the end of the match. If you're a till dude, you'll probably just type GG. If you're more average or normal, you'll type the guy's role and diff, depending on how it went, right? Top diff, jungle diff, ADC diff, and so on. There's also gap or abyss, like top gap or jungle abyss. There's a million ways to flame your opponent at the in-game chat, and let's be real, most people expect you to do at least one of them. Let's be honest, when you're losing lane, don't you hit tab and mute the guy right away? Scared he's about to start typing? Yeah, man, League's gonna be super toxic. Gotta love it. If you're lagging, you have to keep spamming that in chat every time you die, mainly to make sure your teammates know you only died because of lag, and you're way better than that. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, what matters is what they believe. If you mess up a flash, no matter how it happens, it's just expected that you stop moving for a few seconds. Maybe it's shame, I don't know, but it just happens. If it's a really flashy play, like a blitz flash hook and you miss, depending on the champ, you might not just stand still. You might start doing other stuff too, like spamming emotes. Especially if someone dies right after flashing into a fog or a bush, it's basically mandatory to say that they try to hide the body or something like that. If you get a quadra kill, you're obligated to go for the penta, even if it's impossible and the dude's inside the fountain. Unless you're a Jhin, then you just stay on the quadra. You might even avoid it on purpose. On that note, never try to steal someone's penta. Unless it's your friend, then do whatever you want and laugh in their face. Personally, I always steal my friends' pentas. I flash, I TP, I do anything to take them. But I still remember the day the friend I stole the most pentas from was playing Silas with me in a solo duo. Then he took the enemy Lee Sin's ult and kicked the guy towards me so I could get the penta. It was so epic, man. And yeah, I kept stealing his pentas after that. Never chase a Talon. It's literally impossible to catch him. Just don't waste your time. And since we're talking about chasing, never chase a Singed. Not only will you never catch him, but you might die in the most frustrating way possible. I swear, half the people in my solo queue still haven't heard of this. When the game's almost over, like you're already on the enemy Nexus, it's highly recommended that you don't finish the game, and instead just keep beating down the enemy players, even if they're in the fountain. Just keep rolling them to humiliate them as much as possible. If the game is really guaranteed, like the minions are hitting the Nexus, then you can try diving the fountain and maybe die in the process. That's risky, so only do it if you're a pro. Never celebrate early. The second someone types GG too soon, it's basically a free comeback for the enemy team. If someone on your team starts spamming GG and blaming the enemies just because y'all got a lead, you instantly get that, oh no, we're gonna lose feeling. It's a psychological thing, man. The enemy team wants to win just to prove that guy wrong. Then you type GG after killing someone, they flip the game and hit you back with the GG easy when your Nexus explodes. Not fun. Speaking of GG, at the end of the game, you gotta use everything you got. Ult, flash, Zhonya's, everything. Same goes for remakes. If a remake vote pops up, you and your laner have to flash on each other, TP to tower, run it under the turret, all of it. It's ending either way, you're not taking anything home. If someone starts dancing mid lane, especially early game, you have to dance with them. If you don't, or worse, you attack the dancing enemy, you're cursed. Like years of bad luck cursed. You're gonna get camped and your team won't back you up. If you got a blitzcrank on your team, it's a mandatory to invade. That champ was literally made for it. And if the enemy team has blitz, get ready to counter invade, because they're for sure invading. When it comes to invading, you have to go with your team. Even if your top lane or the call is kind of troll, invades are almost always turned into full-on brawls, and most top laners don't go for counter invades. So if your team loses and you weren't there, everyone will tilt you, blame you, and you're tilted too. Instant loss. And this will stick with them the whole game. Like someone's gonna be thinking, if I just gotten those 2 kills in that invade, none of this would happen. And that'll be true even if the enemy top didn't go either and y'all lost the 4v4. They'll still say, well, we would have had the advantage if you had come. If you're playing a Kali and you see someone TP, you have to E and follow them wherever they go. Even if they TP into a ward in fountain and you just die, it's a rare mechanic, you gotta use it. Same goes for Yasuo. If someone gets knocked up, you're morally obligated to ult, even if it means certain death. And more people get knocked up, the stronger the obligation is. I've never seen a Yasuo not ult when there's more than 3 people in the air. If you're playing Lee Sin and land a Q, you have to go in. Even if you got a ward hop just to not die, you still have to Q again. Same with snowballs and ARAM. If you throw it, you better be ready to follow up. Don't throw it if you're scared. Now, one of the most important rules, and this goes for almost any competitive game, never end on a loss. You gotta keep playing until you win one. There's no way you can log off on an L. And once you win, you'll go on a lucky streak and you can keep playing to ride the wave. But if that lucky streak turns out to be fake and you lose, well, now you gotta queue again, because you still can't end on a loss. The question mark ping is the most used ping in League. It has a million meanings. Originally, it was for when someone disappeared from lane, but now that's like the least used reason. You can use it when someone's doing dumb stuff, like the jungle stealing your wave. You can use it when someone makes a questionable or funny play, like flashing and smacking into a wall. You can use it for dumb, unexpected stuff, for AFKs, for when you get solo queued and your duo's farming Krugs on the other side of the map. It just works for everything. Best ping in League. In ARAM, always flash to steal the healing orb from someone with low HP who actually needs it. This is the place to be selfish. There are some champs that just always end up fed, like Evelynn. I've never seen a negative Evelynn player, ever. Even in bronze, Evelynn is always doing well, especially if she's on the enemy team. Then you got champs that are always fed and still lose, like Shaco. It usually happens with champs that can pick up kills easy. They just farm kills and ignore everything else. No objectives, nothing. They hog all the team's gold, fall off late game, and then blame the team for being bad, even though they got 85% of the team's kills. If someone on your team lands a godlike engage, you're obligated to do nothing and just stand there until the CC wears off and they die. Only then can you go in. And this rule's especially real in my solo queue. There's another one just like it. When the enemy team is doing an objective, even if they're not taking any damage because they got some super tank, you gotta sit there and watch. Don't engage. Let them finish it and get stronger. Then you go in. Yeah, your jungle could have tried to steal it before, but nah, you gotta wait. If it's Baron or something and they're actually taking damage, sure, maybe you go, but most of the time that's not the case. Everyone's just hesitating, not knowing what to do. Then the second they take it, people just dive in, lose somehow, and throw. Maybe I'm washed, man. Someone help me get out of diamond, please. Always try to kill Soraka or Yuumi first, even if you die for it. If you see one of them alone or out of position, it's go time. Infinite chase until they're dead. This especially goes for peel supports too, but it hits way harder with Soraka and Yuumi specifically. Back to our boy Yasuo, if you have mastery with him, no matter the level, you have to flash that mastery emote. Whether you hit a big play with the tornado or it's just anything at all, you have to flex it until the game mutes you. Same goes for pull champs like Blitz, Thresh, etc. You have to emote after landing a hook. Honestly, you should do it after missing too, especially if you missed in a really embarrassing way. In ARAM, it's strictly forbidden to hit the enemy Nexus. You just gotta chill there and wait for the minions to end the game. If someone starts hitting the enemy Nexus, you have to type something like PDLs on the line, whether it's your teammate or not. If you're at that part of the game where backdooring is your only chance, but like it's super unlikely, you still have to keep trying. Even if it never works and you're just feeding, you gotta commit. Always feed the poros in ARAM. I know for a fact some people don't know that if you feed a poro enough, he gets huge and explodes into mini poros. So yeah, feed him. And don't attack the people who are feeding them. If you're playing Leona, you have to dive at level 2. If there's a Leona on your team, get ready to follow her. And if you're against one, brace yourself for that level 2 dive. If you're an ADC with 1,000 kills and 0 deaths, and you wonder if you can 1v1 the enemy top with 0 kills and 1,000 deaths, the answer is no, you cannot. That dude will walk up and completely destroy you, especially if he had Ninja Tabby and your support isn't with you. If the enemy team has a Jarvan, Twitch, or Shaco, they will gank at level 2, so get ready. But that isn't valid if it's on your team. Your jungler will probably just keep farming like nothing's happening. Playing ranged top laners is one of the worst crimes you can commit. It doesn't just ruin your honor, you're guaranteed to get camped and hard focused. And honestly, you deserve it. The only exceptions people kinda tolerate are Kennen, Jace, and Gnar. They don't get judged as hard as Vayne or Teemo. There are always those champs that only pop off when they're on the enemy team, and when they're on your team, they're hard inting. The best example is Katarina. If I'm against her, she's slamming her face on the keyboard and pentakilling, but on my team, she's worth less than a cannon minion. That goes for a bunch of other champs too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you think I missed any rules, drop them down in the comments, and see you in the next video.